Well. Happy Thanksgiving to those on the across the Atlantic for us. Minus the Canadians and the Mexicans. We are upset that they took their country. But anyway, how's everyone doing this evening?
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to all our US viewers who are probably eating the dinner about now.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Perfectly, Namdi, you know what I mean? We've really timed that one perfectly.
Yeah. I did think about it. Oh no, we did talk about it. I worked for Thanksgiving.
But here we are anyway.
We did. Yeah, we could. Why is this not working? That we could do stuff for Thanksgiving. Is my camera not showing? I seem to have disappeared.
He's disappeared in the
Okay. I'm not sure why my camera isn't showing. Hold on. I need to
there you go.
I am. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Yes. Happy Thanksgiving to you guys. I know people are eating their turkeys and probably were watching the Thanksgiving match, I think basketball or stuff. But anyway, I'm glad anyone who can join us this evening can. Because we got the Brandy album, the full. What did you guys think of this album?
I forgot how much I love this album. To me, it's such a good album. Her vocals on this album I thought were amazing. So I had a trouble putting the songs in order, because some of the songs it's not songs I would play constantly, but I thought her vocals were just insane on the tracks. And then some of the tracks are just, they made it through the test of time for me. So this is a classic one, I think.
Wow. Stevie, I got your message about the fact that you were having to listen to it. How did you find it?
I found it very incredibly well sequenced as an album from one track to the other. My memories of it, I did listen to it a lot back then. I found my CD. Ooh. I don't know if you can just see at the bottom here. Back then, I made this sticker, and I'd write down in numbered order the tracks that I'd listened to in which order. So I forgot I used to do that like 20 years ago.
Wow.
So I've got like 12 tracks there that I'd listened to in a particular order. But I'll be honest, coming back to it 20 years on, I realised there was only like 3 or 4 tracks that I actually remember. So going back and listening to it again was quite an experience. And because we've been listening to a lot of stuff from the 90s, the first thing that struck me with my headphones on was like, I nearly had a headache, because how the music file, the production, everything's been filled. The beat, the bass, it's like, oh, I was like, after 2, I was like, turn it down, because back in the 90s, they had to let the track breathe. A lot, we're crossing from analog into digital records, so there's a bit of breathing space in your. But with this, it's like Rodney Jerkins has just like he's thrown the kitchen sink at the production, hasn't he? There's so many beats going on and things in the production. I mean, I noticed as well that vocals there's a lot of vocal overlapping when she's singing. There's a lot of effects on the vocals, which I didn't notice back then, but I can clearly notice it now. Anyway, I've rabbled on a bit, but yeah, it still sounds great, and I think Rodney Jerkins put a lot of production effort into this album. It's almost like he put his life into it. So
yeah. And Mackie says he expects him and Laura for you to have the same top 3. Happy Thanksgiving! I bet
we'll see about that.
Rena and I will have the top 3.
We'll
see.
Yeah. Okay. So I will honestly say that listening to the album over 20 years later, I found some of the production not to my liking as I listened to it today. And at first I thought, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this. And so then I had to put the album straight on a playlist and then start to adjust the songs that I felt I didn't enjoy, and the ones I felt like were really good. I started to rank them, and did my final shuffle this afternoon, and so I believe I've got it to the point where yes, these were the songs that I really appreciated the most out of this album. The album didn't do as Never Say. Is it Never Say
Never
Never?
say never.
One with the boys mind and really took off. That was, and this album didn't meet up to that. Probably I think 1.5 million or so. Only released 2 videos and 3 singles. Why do you guys think that? Why do you think it didn't do as well as its predecessor?
When did all that bad publicity come for Brandy? Was this before or after?
The only publicity she had was when she got pregnant with one of his. I don't know.
No, it was worse than that. Now I'm talking about when she'd run somebody over and she nearly killed them or something. That really, it was terrible, really terrible for her career.
I don't know if
I think that's later.
I don't think it was. Yeah, I don't think it was. It was during this time when I don't think it was during this time. Brandy was pregnant at the time.
Yeah, I think it was her pregnancy because I
Pregnancy.
feel like during that time they were big on like an image. And she had like the girl next door image. It was very
Moesha,
yeah, like if she would do things like I guess the proper way, like get married before she had kids. She wasn't married. So I think that whole drama kind of messed up with the rollout for the album, I think.
Yeah, so she gave birth to a daughter in 2. And
the cardinal sin as a female artist in the music industry is to get pregnant. That's an absolute cardinal sin.
Well, they can, and the album. By the way,
I'm just
I gave birth in 2002. The album was released in February of 2002. And it only sold 1.1 million. And Never Say Never, which came out 4 years earlier, did 16 million. Yeah.
Wow.
So you can start to see the massive difference between because they and then she she said she was getting married to the guy, and then the guy, I was like, okay, I have to.
When we did that poll with the 4 albums in, was it this album we picked, or was it the Never Say Never?
It was this album, Full Moon.
It was Full
Moon. It was Full Moon. Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You know, this time period, late 90s, early 2000, this is where major labels they threw the kitchen sink at R&B in terms of like spending money. They were getting budgets rock albums had. They threw everything, it's just like this is like peak R&B money spent at this period. So you can tell there was a lot of money thrown at this. The booklet in this, the photographs, the sound of the production, the producers on it, they're going big time on this.
And like you said, how the songs were sequenced, like the order of the songs and how some of the songs ran into each other. Like it was done really, really well. So it sucks that I feel like the marketing or whatever the rollout, everything was cut short. Because I think the album could have did a lot better. I think there could have been a lot more singles too that they could have released from this album.
But also, she didn't in her Aphrodisiac album. Rodney didn't do anything. Rodney didn't do anything. I don't know who this is, but I'm going to have to put this person in.
What is that all about?
Yeah.
Me.
So what? Hold on. Okay, it's all gone. So, what about what do you make of the? Because but she had most of the production was with Rodney, but then some of the other had other producers with it. Are you saying you guys thought the album was cohesive and it sounded right and everything?
I think so. I feel like working with Rodney Jerkins as like the main producer, I feel like it was a very well done, cohesive album. I feel like um, it's different from Never Say Never and of course her debut album Brandy, but I thought it was well done. I really like I forgot how much I enjoyed this album.
Wow. Okay.
And I think I know where you're going with this, Namdi. You, production-wise, what I noticed was I could compare this to Aaliyah's debut because you've got Timbaland doing all that. We're hearing all that, them doubling and tripling of beats on that for the first time, really. And you're hearing it on this album as well. And you know, there's one track in particular. It's like 3 different tracks rolled into one. It goes in, it's almost like the beats go. It's like on steroids or something. The way the beats go all over the place. I think it's fantastic, but it does have a nod production-wise to Aaliyah's debut and what Timbaland was doing. So, and I know you're not too sure about that album, are you still, Namdi? You're still a bit...
No, I'll be honest. I started and I thought, oh goodness, there's a lot of noise on this album, and I make it a point of not looking at who produced any of the songs until maybe an hour before the show. So I've already picked listed everything. Then I go back and look at the producers and like, okay, so yeah. So with this one, I just didn't. But I think you've got to understand that I'm this is 20 plus years later, and every week when I'm listening to 90s R&B, and I think my taste for music has shifted into a particular style that maybe 20 years ago I probably would have been a lot more into that. So, and Rodney can always be watching, so I'm mindful. But some of his songs made my top 5. And some of them didn't. So it was a very interesting album. Yes, Mac, yeah, we blocked the guy. So let us go. In fact, actually, when we do this one, I don't seem to be the order. Yes, yeah, I've been able to do that. Yes, yeah. So yeah, there was
sometimes, folks, you got to take a bit of a roasting. You know, you got to take a bit of a roasting sometimes, folks. Mine tonight, you know.
Yeah. So let us go, and he's asking me. I'm just wondering if it is still, yeah. But anyway, let us start off with. In fact, let me switch it around because. It is good to be able to get the different perspectives here. Let me, and actually, I think people will definitely be surprised. Hold on, people definitely be surprised by our selection. But I need to go into the chats because somebody seems to be making a nuisance. But Laura, do you want to go first and say what was what you started off with?
Wait, are we still doing? We're doing top 10.
Yes, we're doing top 10. Yes.
Okay, so this is what I'm starting it off with. Again, I feel like with this song, her vocal was just really, really, really good. I have to look up who I guess vocal produced that song to see who it was, but it was done really well. So it's Love Wouldn't Count Me Out. So that's what I have as 10. I think it was just really well done.
Wow. So you've gone for one of the candle in the air type songs.
The big, yes.
The big ballad, big candle in the air.
Yes.
Tearjerker near the end. Fair enough. Why not, eh? There's always got to be a track like that on an R&B album. Wouldn't be an R&B album if there wasn't a track somewhere like that.
Exactly.
Fair play to you. I mean, the great thing about this is there's a lot of tracks to pick from. So if you're not a fan of Candle in the Air tracks, you can omit them.
Well, I am the candle in the air girl, so there's going to be a lot of that.
Okay. Stevie, what about you?
I started with a lot of tracks are produced by, not all, but quite a lot of the tracks produced by Rodney Jerkins. I'm just see if there's any additional vocals by LaShawn Daniels. Who else is on this? And there's an organ played by Joe Wilson and a violin by Kimbo. Bit of I don't know if that's any useless information there. But I don't know. Kimbo plays a bit of violin on it. And I've gone for the semi-ballad mid-tempo-ish like this. It actually sounds a bit like a mellowy Blackstreet track, as if I can. Yeah, nice. I thought it was it was a good track, and I was able to put it thankfully ahead of the candlelight song. So yeah, I was quite happy about that.
I think for me,
it's strange having you down there, Namdi. Really, can't you just go back above us, please?
Because this is going to be completely shocking to everyone, because it'll be completely opposite to everybody.
I don't believe that.
You'll be surprised. Number 10 for me, I struggled with the difference between number 10 and 11. It was a flip of a coin. I wanted to put Apart, but I think when I went through the list, what settled at number 10 was Whoa. And that was, and I just listened to the two, and I just flipped the coin, and I had to put Wow. I did like I loved the ballad. It was like a mid-tempo type of track and stuff like that. Yeah, so that made number 10.
Nice
for me. But as I said, my list, people. Oh, there it is. There, yeah. People would be surprised when they see my final list and see what I put in there.
I mean, spoiler alert. Originally, I didn't even have that in my top 10, and then I thought, let me go, because I was so exhausted listening through that. By the time I got to that track, I was like, it's so long, and I just didn't give it the credit it deserves. So I went back, listened to it again, and thought, no, this is actually very good. This is a very good melodic, flowing track, and that's all I'll say at this point. But, I'm justified knowing that Namdi's picked it now in his top 10. It's number 10, but at least it's in his top 10.
Yeah, as I said, you'll be surprised when you hear my top 10, what made it and what probably didn't make it. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Right. So number 9, I have Rodney Jenkins track on here. It's Can We. So that's what I have at number 9 for me.
Okay.
Is that like one of the ballady mid-tempo tracks again?
No, I think it was very.
Up-tempo? Was it up-tempo? I can't remember. It's got additional vocals from Ray J on it, interestingly. I thought it was all right, that. I thought it was a half-decent track.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spoil myself, but I think it was an interesting. I have to remember though that he was still early 20s or something like that. So yeah, there's a different mindset. All right, Stevie, what did you get?
Slightly off topic. For anyone who collects records, it is Record Store Day tomorrow, and they've done a nice repress of En Vogue's first album on a red vinyl with a big hype sticker going across it, and it's limited to 1,700 copies. If you want to get yourself out in the shops tomorrow to get a copy. My local shop in Manchester isn't stocking it, and I've got to go a bit further out if I want to try and get a copy. But anyway, let's get back to number 9. I've gone for, let me see the credits on this. It's only one word, this. The title is one word. Sorry for the delay, folks. Here we go. Right, it's produced by Keith Crouch, who originally worked on the debut album of Brandy's. Anyone on Bracken vocals? Actually, LaShawn Daniels is on this. Keith Crouch, not Kenneth Crouch, Keith Crouch for Human Rhythm Productions. And it's Apart.
Okay. I told you that was my number. That was, yeah.
Another mid-tempo track that, again, there was like, it's between 10 and 8. I was umming and ahhing where to put these tracks. I was dead certain of everything else, but these tracks was like, should this be number 10? Should it be so? But I'm happy it's in there anyway. It's a solid enough track.
Yeah.
I actually don't think there's a bad track on this album.
No,
I don't think there's anything terrible on it. You know, I think, you know, you're getting a good mix of up tempos, mid tempos, and some ballads. So, and I think, you know, there wasn't really any skips on me for this album. Was there skips for you, Nandi? I didn't feel
as I mentioned, I have 11 songs. I have 12 songs, and the others were deleted from the playlist. So yeah, there were a few skips. There were a lot of skips. So we'll see.
Wow.
I said, but to my point, you know, I'm listening to it in definitely ears than I did 20 years ago. So at number 9 for me is, where is that? Anybody. Nice little, let me try and remember now, because I was listening to this album so much, and I was going to start writing things around it, but yeah, definitely Anybody was my number 9. I think that was the sort of neo soulish kind of let me try and just remember now. I think that was the neo soulish type of this was a song that I thought was, if you listen to it, it sounds like a Timbaland track.
Yes, it does.
It sounds like it, and I was surprised. I didn't, as I said, I didn't. Anybody.
Yeah, that's the one where it's offbeat, innit? It's like
dun. So I listened to it and I thought, oh, this is Did she work with Timbaland and Missy? As I said, I'm only checking the credits now, so I'm looking, and it was LaShawn Daniels and Darkchild who did the production on that, but it sounded like a Timbaland stuff. So that ended at number 9 for me. That's a yellow card. Okay, so that might not Anybody much higher. All right.
But yeah, I felt like that's a song that it could have been like on Aaliyah's One in a Million. Like she could have covered that song.
Yeah, it gave me that whole Aaliyah vibe, and I'm just like, okay, yeah. So what did you get for number 8? It's a good song. That's why, as I said, it made my top 10.
Wow.
And at number 9, yeah.
No, it is a good song. For me, for number 8, I put Like This. That is my pick. I felt like it has a little bit of, I don't know, in the beginning when you hear like the start of it, it just reminded me a little bit of like the church, like gospel in the beginning. I don't know why, but it did. But I enjoy that song, so it definitely
the organ. Not the organ.
Yes, that exactly. That's it. So that definitely was going to make it into my top 10. So it's at number 8.
It's interesting now that your 10 and number 9, what you've picked, them 2 tracks that you picked. I'm thinking, gosh, you picked them tracks. What have you left out? I think you could have left some big tracks out here. We'll see. It's like a chess game, this, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're moving pieces around.
Yeah, and that's why I don't like to know what anyone has picked until he goes, I already know everyone's list. It just takes this thing of it. But just the fact that we're all going to be guessing and stuff, and Mark put it's not worth it.
Well, like you say, you picked them 2 tracks that you picked already. What I call the candles in the air tracks. I know you picked them. You must have left some other, what I consider. I don't know. We'll see. There's a lot of tracks on it. So
Yeah.
Number 8, I've gone with, as we're discussing earlier, Namdi, the track that I originally left out and thought, no, I'm going to put this in. I thought it's quite good. This it's one of. I don't remember this back then, listening to this track back then. So it is a bit of a new, I feel it's a new discovery for this track. And it's wow. It's very melodic, very flowing. It's got a breezy feel to it. It does feel a bit different to the rest of the stuff on the album. I can see why they put it near the end. But it's a track that I'm probably going to play more now. Because like you say, it's a new discovery and I like it. I couldn't put it any further up because I just don't know the track that well enough to put it further up in my chart. So, but then again, I'm contradicting myself saying that because there's another track that I put high up that's completely blown me away that I just don't ever remember. So I'm contradicting myself.
Okay. Yeah. So like this had backing vocals. So the guy who was singing was LaShawn Daniels, who was doing the and then the electric piano and organ was guy Joe Wilson.
Okay.
So it does have, and then even Darkchild did some of the organ, but and the violin with Kimbo. So that
hold on. This track "Wow" is produced by Robert Big Bert Smith. I've not heard of him before. Recorded at Darkchild Studios. So maybe he was one of like Darkchild's hitmen who was hanging around, and Darkchild said, "Go on, have a go." But in respect to it, he could be like a really established producer that I've never heard of before, but more likely he's probably a hitman who go on, have a go, get on the board, finish this track off.
Well, from number 8 for me was very similar to, well, it was like this. And I listened to it and I thought, okay, this is it did have the churchy stuff, but it was also kind of where the neo soul vibe was going. That was a kind of a neo soul type of yeah. So I thought, okay, that was a nice little stuff. The father of LaShawn Daniels, was he the father of Brandy's daughter?
Oh no, it's not LaShawn. It would be someone. I think someone that Stevie named.
Keith Crouch.
No, not Keith Crouch. Anyway, I can't. Yeah, he was one of the producers. He's of Darkchild producers. Yes, but we'll grab the name.
Oh, it's Robert Big Bert Smith.
Okay. Yes. Okay. they had him. Robert Big Bert Smith. Yes. Oh yes, it's him. I see his pictures. They had him sit down with Brandy, and like, yeah, we're getting married, and you could see him like the rabbit in a headlight, like, yeah, we're getting married, because they had them in the interview. So this is, we can't wait to get married and have the baby, and he was like, yeah, sure, yes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it wasn't great, yeah. But anyway, yes, that's it. Bonus 79, and yeah, the father of Brandy's daughter. Anyway, Stevie, what did you have for number 7? No, Lorena, did you have your number 7?
Lorena.
No, I didn't do number 7 yet. So number 7 for me, I put "It's Not Worth It." That's what I have at 7.
Wow. Done.
Is it a wow, like a good wow or a bad wow?
Well, it's in your chart. It is in your chart. I thought you'd have had that a lot more higher, actually, but what do I know?
I know. It's hard.
Okay.
Wow.
What did you put, Stevie?
Just thinking, why is that number 7, do you think?
Well, there was other songs that I liked more. But it's a song that I would definitely play. Like, it's It's a really good song. But yeah, it landed at number 7. There were some other songs that I just connected more with.
Interesting. I thought you guys would be all over that track, but again, what do I know? Right, this. Oh, let's talk about. I'm not actually. There's one track on here that I thought was a gospel track, and it sounds very gospel-y, but the lyrics are not gospel. Did you pick up on that?
Oh, I think I know which one you're talking about.
Maybe I won't mention it in case one of you might have picked it, and then we can talk about it. If none of us pick it, I'll come back to it at the end.
Okay.
But for number 7, I picked All in Me. I got that one, and I'm sitting there thinking I can't bloody remember what it sounds like now.
I did.
Really bad, isn't it? That's really bad. But it's at number 7. It's produced by Darkchild. It's about where is it coming? Yeah, it's number 6. Comes in at number 6. So
that's the one that has a lot of changes in the beat.
Yes, that's the one that I was saying earlier, where it sounds like 3 different tracks all melted. Because at one point it goes on like it just explodes, doesn't it? Like a firework.
Yeah.
And I'm just that production and the way it's put together. Thanks for reminding me about that. Because now I can talk about it. That production just blown me away. I don't know how he did that. I mean, that's next level production stuff. That most producers can't do that. You just don't know how to do that.
Was that happening a lot during that time? I don't think so.
No, that's what I mean. Most producers today just would not get their heads around doing that. I mean, there's bits here where he's kind of like slowing the track down, then reversing the track, and then there's just he has learned a lot from Teddy. You can tell he's learned a lot from Teddy Riley, because there's a lot. I'm not saying he's not taking any of Teddy sounds, but some of the tricks and things that Teddy was able to do, he's kind of took it to a next level. I can hear it on this album.
Yes.
But I think a lot of the producers from that time, like the 2000s, I think a lot of them were influenced by Teddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And especially they started to. The drum programming became the centerpiece, and then adding the other sounds to it. Unfortunately for me at that time, there was a different type of sound that I don't know. I wasn't a big, massive fan of that particular sound. But number 7 for me is it was a song that secretly features the vocal guest vocals of Michael Jackson.
I know exactly what it is.
Do you know what track that is?
I don't.
It's Lorraine. It's the one that Lorena picked.
Really?
Then it's not worth it. You don't hear Michael?
That's why I was stunned. I'm even stunned. The pair of you. But Mary needed a big yellow card for this.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Yeah. So Michael's the recording Invincible.
When he opened his mouth at the beginning there, I nearly died. Oh my God, this is Michael Jackson.
At the time they were recording Invincible, and Brandy was supposed to find one of the tracks in Invincible, but then the label was, no, it's not going to happen. So then he left some of Brandy's vocals in the background of a track. I can't remember what it was now. And then he left Michael's vocals on the back of one of this track. And you could just hear him because no one else can harmonize it in like that. So it was like, oh, welcome, Michael. It was almost like Right Now Human Nature remix where he does, but he does that in there. So yeah. So
can you imagine, right? I bet Rodney's got he's locked away on DATs or whatever. He must have a lot of unreleased MJ, not tracks, just vocals, acapella vocals. That, like you say, he could synchronize into. Oh, that's just mind blowing. It's just the thought of that is mind blowing. I feel like you say, he did this. It sounds to me like he had vocals left over from Invincible, and he's just like kind of added it. Guys, what's it? What number is this? You got this number 7.
Number 7.
Number 7. You had it number. What did you have it? Number 7 as well, Lorena. Oh, dearie me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He deserves more kudos and deserves more flowers than number 7.
Well, I will say it's better at number 7 than leaving it off.
Yeah. Because you think that's how. I mean, how many songs were on the album? So let me just try and remember now.
I got 17 here on my CD.
Yeah, I think most of them were 16. And I'm just thinking, 17. Another Day in Paradise was not on all the releases. What was the one that she did with Ray J? That Die Without You. Oh, was that not on yours?
Another Day in Paradise.
No, mine was Die Without You.
I have Another Day in Paradise with Ray J.
Oh, mine was Die.
Oops.
Mine was Die Without You with Ray J. Die Without You with Ray J. That was the one I had on my album. Oh, what a difference. Yeah, I didn't have Another Day in Paradise. So, what... Okay, so Stevie. Oh wait, I'm just Lorena, number 6. Yeah.
Number 6, I have All in Me. That is my number 6. I like the way that the track kind of jumped and then came back down. So that to me was different. I love her vocals on that track as well. So that's my number 6.
All in Me. Okay.
Now, you probably thought it was very noisy, but I thought it was done really well.
He just was done really well. Yeah, so Lorena asking the question, why Total R&B not live on YouTube?
I'm gonna get it together, guys.
Question. She's gonna get it together. But please remember to subscribe to Total R&B. If you noticed, she put it. I've shared 2 of her polls, and she's doing it every day. So it is. I thought I was doing good daily polls. So be sure to subscribe to Total R&B, and also Stevie Streets. Stevie? What's when's the next episode in Search of Vinyl coming out?
There's one running that I launched on Monday. You can check that one out. I visited a town called Accrington. A record shop. He's got for the doors of the actual record shop. He has the TARDIS from Doctor Who as the doors.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And anyway, the Total R&B podcast is totally free. When you upgrade your internet package and the guy from India calls and goes, it's totally free for the first few months and then $69.99 afterwards. Totally free. My friend in Mumbai, as they say.
Yeah. And Max says I'm a villain. I'm a villain on the polls. Yeah. And Max is. I saw he's been answering your polls as well.
Thank you so much.
So yes, guys. So yes, search Total R&B on YouTube and subscribe and come in next time we come together.
Yes,
she'll definitely have the channel linked. So number 6. Did you give you a number 6?
I did. All in Me.
Oh yes. All in Me. Stevie, what's your number 6?
That's good that you've made number 6 then. So you found that track quite interesting. Right then. I had for number 6. I had one of the club bangers. I had I Thought.
Ooh.
I hope it was an up-tempo track. And I thought this could have actually been higher on about second, third list. I'm doing it justice putting it at number 6 because it's a really good dark. It's got this squelchy bass noise to it that he's added. That was, if you listen to the production on that is definitely sound that Darkchild has developed. I can't attain that to any other producer. That's definitely his sound. But I thought, yeah, it was a good solid track, that.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you guys, I'll just put this down here. You guys have quite interesting with the things that you selected. Number 6 for me, I think some people have mentioned it. Let me just remind myself a little bit about it, because it was one of the ones that yeah, it was a song that I actually thought that Diane Warren did with what's her David Foster.
Oh no!
But it wasn't. I'm seeing Rodney Jerkins. I didn't realize he did the production with this, but he didn't write it, so that's probably. But he did a co-production, and it is Come a Little Bit Closer. It was, I think we showcase her vocal talent much more on this than we normally would. It was number 6 for me. It was really in the top 10. I thought, okay, this is a nice track here. Did you not put
when the podcast is over, Namdi, put your headphones on tonight, play that track, and I guarantee you'll fall asleep.
Oh no!
I guarantee you.
Yeah, and Mac loved the song. We all loved it. Did you pick it, Lorena? You didn't pick it.
You'll be away after 4 minutes. You'll be away. The minute you mentioned Diane Warren, I thought, hey, let me get the sleeping bag out. Let me get the sleeping bag out.
Beautiful track.
It is. I will agree. It is a beautiful track, but just not a part of my top 10.
It's not part of your top 10. Okay. Okay. What made you number 5?
So my number 5, I think this is the song Stevie was talking about a minute ago, saying like how it has like a gospel feel, but the words are definitely not gospel at all. And so you can tell me if I'm right. The song is He Is.
Yes. Bang on.
Yes, so that is my top 5. He Is.
I'm happy you picked it because I didn't.
Because I know, because that's another Candle one. So I know.
I was annoyed because I thought, great, we've got a gospel track here, but the lyrics weren't gospel.
No,
not and I'm like, please, you should have just made that a gospel track and stick it at the end.
But it was produced by Warren Campbell, and he does all the gospel tracks now with like Mary Mary.
Yeah, he does a lot of. Yeah, that makes sense. You're right. He's spot on there.
And I was at his wedding in 2002. Yes.
Wow.
I was at his wedding in 2002, and I was living in Los Angeles at the time, and my girlfriend at the time, who lived in the Bay Area, was best friends with Erica's and younger sister, and so she came down from the Bay Area, says, "Oh, my older sister's getting married. Do you want to come?" And I didn't know Warren Campbell, but I knew Mary Mary, and like, oh, Mary Mary's, one of the Marys are getting married. And so, yes, we drove there. I was, and shook hands with everyone. So when I interviewed Warren, I said, "Guess what? I was at your wedding." And he was like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I was at your." He was shocked, and then he said, and I said, "Yeah, your wife's younger sister." He said, "Which one?" And I didn't realize she had 8 sisters or something like that. I'm like, oh shit, I can't remember the name of your sister. So it was, but I was there. But yeah, as I said, I didn't know Warren as a producer. If I had known he did all the Mario stuff and all the Death Row production and stuff, I probably would have been a little bit more. No, it was just the fact that, oh, look at Mary Mary right there, and at the wedding stuff. Yeah. But that was So, but he was cool. He's definitely. I mean, if you listen to Tupac's 9% of the or 80% of the production playing the keyboards and stuff was him. Suge Knight didn't give him any publishing credit on it because he didn't he already signed a publishing deal somewhere else. And Suge Knight says, "Well, if I need to own all the publishing, so I'll give you the money, but I can't give you the publishing." But he did all the stuff. So anything that you had Johnny J on it, he was doing all the music, and Johnny J got the publishing credit.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Wow, what a story that is.
Yeah. Okay. Mac actually thought that you had He Is as in your top 3, so he says, "Well, there goes my predictions."
No, sorry.
Stevie, what about you? Number 5.
I thought it was Lorena. You keep getting mixed up, don't you?
No, I put He Is.
Oh, right, okay. So the number 5, I've gone, I think this big lead-off single from it, if I'm not mistaken. What About Us? I've got it. Number 5. It's made my top 5. I don't know. It's like I listen to it, and there's times when I really, really like this, and then there's other times, and I think it's a bit pedestrian. But it had to be in my top 5, probably because I've got good memories of hearing it in clubs when I was going clubs in the early 2000s. I mean, I'm a bit old there, don't I? Like when I was going to clubs 25 years ago. Yeah, we actually went to clubs 5 years ago. But I like this track, so. But I think it's a fantastic track. It is a fantastic track. Not quite number 1 for me, unfortunately, but it's in my top 5. It had to be there.
What about? Okay. Okay. I went with a track produced by Went to His Wedding with and Von Campbell. He is, and definitely was a track that really said I didn't know who produced it at the time, and yes, I can see it being I could see the heavily influence because Warren's dad is a pastor, and now Warren's is a pastor at the church, so you can hear the influence in it. That was the official 3rd single, but there was no video for it. I think the album was I think the album disappointed, and they just moved on. I think the first publicity and the lead single didn't help the sales, and so they didn't even release a video for this, and we didn't see Brandy, and probably maybe it contributed to her and Rodney parting ways after this album. But it was the 3rd single, but no video, and that was the end of the album. So He Is. Brandy did a lot of writing on this, and co-production as well. You have a very powerful momager. She's taken good care of. Yeah. All right. Top 4.
We're at 4 already. We're flying through this.
Yeah, I didn't think we would.
Ooh, okay. So number 4 is one of my favorite songs on this album. It's Nothing. I love this song. I thought it was done so well. See, that's why it was so hard, like putting them in order. And I guess that's how It's Not Worth It got put, back at 7, which is, I know, it's crazy, guys. But yeah, Nothing is my number 4.
Okay, Stevie.
That's a good choice, because I was going to say there is some very deep R&B cuts on this. The one you just mentioned, Nothing, was definitely one of them. And that's where I put that track as well, at number 4. I went for Nothing at number 4 as well. I thought it was a very deep R&B cut. I don't remember it at the time listening to it back then, but I think it really has stood the test of time, that track.
It has.
You know, it's
Like,
I thought it
the
was a really
original
strong
track.
track, and you know, it's definitely a top five for me. Let's see if
Produced
Nam
by
did.
Uncle Freddie.
I
Yeah,
don't
let's
know
see.
who that is.
No, Fred Jerkins. That's the Rodney's brother.
Oh, okay.
Hmm. So you guys went for a Crimea River tracker. Okay. Number 4 for me was I thought vocally she was just like on another level. I loved the strings. I loved the pace. I loved everything on this track. It probably could have been bumped up by one, but I think it was you know, I loved the piano that was playing throughout it, and it there was sort of a mixture between an orchestra and an R&B band, and it is Love Wouldn't Count Me Out.
Wow.
Um, Vocally, she was just in there. I was like, wow, I just love the gentleness of it. And I thought, why didn't they start the album with this? This would have been the first single, come out like Tony Braxton's on Break My Heart kind of thing with that type of stuff. And, you know, then we would have seen a different side. You've got to remember that um, the market that buys the biggest records, like Celine Dion's records or old school Whitney, you kind of want to get to that. That's where Mariah was selling those records, and I think there were some major gems on this album that could have been released first, and this was one of them. I thought it would have just been a nice little crossover ballads and stuff. But anyway,
Yeah, it would have been good if they had it higher up on the album, like on the list of tracks, because I feel like they put this near
yeah,
the end, right?
it was track 15. Oh, goodness. I
Yeah.
think the difference between me is when I do these reviews, I have to put these albums on a playlist, and then I can just move them around. So I didn't realize in the sequence that you'd almost. Now I understand if you had. Um, I'll understand if you had, like they used to do back in the day, where on the first 7 songs were the up tempo, and then the last 7 would be ballads. But I think my issue was that they were just mixing songs around, so there was no cohesion. So you couldn't say, "Okay, I'm just going to dance to this, and now let me chill." But anyway, so "Love Wouldn't Count." Just beautiful, beautiful track at number 4 for me.
I'm just so glad it was at number 15, because by the time you got to track 15, it's time to switch off. You know, what I mean? Time to, you know, you'd be falling asleep by then. You wake up and you make the right decision. Send you off to sleep, that track, Namdi. You know? Send you off.
Yeah, but do you think it's because we're so used to now having, when we listen to albums, there's just like 10 songs? Like, we don't have long albums anymore.
Yeah, we don't have but I think, so to me sometimes I'm not overly, I don't necessarily like to have too many, because you can, when I interviewed Rodney, I said to him, biggest mistake I had with this album, with the Invincible album, was there were too many songs, and having too many songs meant that you can get some album fillers, as Jack Meagy would remind us, and then you're like, okay, and then it will take away from the overall quality. That's why Thriller is still one of the best albums out there, because it's just 8 tracks. Make It Last Forever, 8 to 9 tracks. So Guy's debut album, 8 to 9 tracks, or was it 10 tracks? I can't remember. But it's just like, then you can say that was never a bad song on that. So most of the classic albums were so just 8 to 10 that you can say, oh man, that there was. In fact, Quincy was talking about that we didn't have any space, so we had to bump Carousel off, or we had to. It was almost like every song had to be perfection.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, it was like CDs gave them more space, and they just packed 15, 17 songs, interludes and all. And it's like, you don't stand a chance of having a great classic album with too many songs on there.
That's true. And they
Yeah.
also had like the hidden track too. You had to wait a little bit, and then another song would come on.
Yeah, I think what Stevie, we did one album that had that after Jodeci. I think it was a Jodeci album where you got to wait about 5 minutes into it before the song comes on. It's like, come on, you know.
I mean, you could have done this as well if they recorded 15 tracks of the album and put out 10 tracks. They could have used them other tracks for like B-sides of the singles to help sell the single more. You know, if they didn't have the budget for a remix, they could have, you know, an edit of the A-side from one of the album, then put like an unreleased non-album cut. Some used to do that, so it'd make you go out and buy the single as well to get that exclusive B-side track. So
okay.
all that's gone now. Anyway, it's all gone. All that sadly, it's all. We've just got memories. It's all gone.
Yeah, memories. But as I said, I was never. I mean, M. Mac is saying was 4 years between albums, so she might have been compelled to put out more songs. But you know, why don't you? DMX put out 2 albums in 1 year, and they both went platinum. You know, you could have, although he had to fight with Def Jam to get that done. But yeah, you could come out the next year and put out the albums and stuff like that. But yeah, I think if you wanted to, I don't think people were thinking about classics and thinking about this could be, you know, 10 years, 20 years down, or people remember it. So 10 beautiful songs. I think they would let's just fill it out there because we got the space on the CD compared to tape. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Sure. Plus, if you're giving a producer 200,000, 100,000 for a track, you have to put it out. And so
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you forget how much they paid these producers back then. That's a lot of money. They get paid a lot of money.
Little John, is it John? Is it John? Babyface. He was. I can't remember now. But some of the producers, even J-Dub, who was one of the hitmen, he was saying, yeah, there was so much money thrown at us in those days that we would just being able to, you know, we were just getting so much money, even if the album didn't come out.
That's true.
So anyway, Stevie, where are we at now?
Lorraine is number 3.
Number 4. Lorraine is number 3.
Number 3? Oh, okay. So for number 3, I thought it was one of the best up-tempo songs on the album, which is I Thought. So that comes in at number 3. I like that they did have it too at like the top of the list when it comes to the sequencing of the album. But yeah, that's one of my favorite tracks on this. So that is one that's produced by Darkchild. I Thought.
Oh, I Thought. Let me see. Nope, it's not on my list.
Oh.
It's not. That's why I looked in my list and says, "Oh, it's not there."
Not there at all. Oh no. No, I thought. I feel like it's one of the best up-tempo songs that they have. This one too has the additional vocals with. Well, this is what it says on my one. Ray J's on that too.
Brandy has said if Ray J stops smoking and focuses, he could be one of the best singers ever. One Wish. Did you see when he did One Wish on Versus when he was carrying his baby? Or baby?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's in a group now with Bobby Valentino, he and Sammy. They have a group called RSVP. So
they had. I mean, it's now.
I've heard that new single. But yeah, it's all right. That new single, I like it.
Yeah. So we'll see how Reggie does.
Yeah, there's what Jay Hart did. He did some production for them. But anyway, Stevie, what did you have for your number 3?
There was another producer at the time that I liked. He had his own sound, but I felt he was a bit of a one-trick pony. I'm sure some of you remember him. He was called Mike City. He did a lot of good, solid mid-tempo R&B. The beat was always boom, boom. The bass was there. He did a bit of garage as well, which I thought was interesting. but he produced one of the big singles off the album, which was Full Moon, the title cut. I remember the single coming out, it got like a double pack of remixes. But again, I thought it was a really good song. It fits perfectly with the title of the album. Yeah, but made my number 3 quite easily.
Yeah. I think that the title track of the album, we had a nice little bass, and I thought it was a throwback to. It focused on her and her vocals and her singer style, compared to the lead single. What About was more the music, and I felt that she was a passenger in that song. What About? It was the whole music stuff, and she wasn't singing, because they always said Brandy's the closest to Whitney and stuff. But on that What About, and in some of the tracks that the up tempo tracks, you don't see that. And I think Full Moon was a nice reminder, and I like the whole. I liked everything about that. So that did make my number 3. Written by Mike City, and it was co-produced by Brandy. So Full Moon at number 3 for me.
Touche, Namdi.
I mean, it just wouldn't count me out, which was very hard. I was like, oh goodness. But I wonder if Full Moon wasn't released as a single, because that's probably the most memorable song on the album. And so I listened to it, and there was a sense of connection. I know that track. But it was definitely a nice vibe as well. Yes. So Full Moon
number 2. Number 2.
Number 2. All right, so back to the candles in the air. So my number 2 track is When You Touch Me.
Oh,
that I feel like that is just a classic Brandy song. I think she sounds amazing on this track, and so yeah, it's one of my favorites. So it's at number 2 for me.
Wow,
that song.
Wow, that's a very. I wouldn't put that in the candlelit.
No,
I'd put that in the deep R&B category.
Oh, okay.
I think that's a real deep R&B cut for me. That. But
okay, no candle, no sleeping.
It's an excellent, superb choice. It's a superb choice. And Namdi's listening again because he was like, oh, should I remember that or not? But there's a very, very important credit in that track on the vocoder. And Mr. Teddy Riley plays the vocoder on it.
Yes.
Yes. So, interesting. Anyway, my number 2. Unless you've got anything else to say on that track, Lorena?
No.
Okay. Number 2 is probably my best. Again, I don't remember this track at the time. I'm kicking myself because this is my real discovery this week. Playing this, I'm like, why did I not hammer this out back then? Because I just think it's an absolutely stunning track. It takes a while to get going. There's a telephone conversation going on, and then it builds up, and then there's this heavenly angel voice that appears out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my God, that's Michael Jackson. That's Michael Jackson appears on the track. And he gets it. I'm like, oh my God, I'm like picking myself off the floor at this point. But I couldn't put it number 1 because I thought, it's not something I played for the last 25 years. It would be unfair, but it has made my number 2. And shame on you two for putting it so high up, but it's not worth it. It's my number 2 quite easily.
I mean, when did you know it was Michael on it? When you first heard it?
When this week when it comes in, I'm like, what did I just hear? Michael Jackson? I did. I'm not hearing things. I actually heard it. But why didn't I realize that back then? You know, probably back then I was looking for club tracks. I was just listening to club tracks all the time. You know, that's probably why. So that's probably
okay. I would say that one of the things that is hard doing this list, I think, is the fact that it feels as if I'm on a set of a movie, and we spend 3 months on the set of a movie, and then when we film our final scenes, like maybe the final episode of Friends, and like that's it, guys, and that's it. I pack up the song and off to the next, and it's like songs that I'm going to miss when I stop doing this episode and I move to the next, and nothing is gonna be one of those songs.
Wow.
I goodness, the whole, it was produced by Fred Jerkins and Brandy and Rodney and LaShawn Daniels. Why that wasn't released as the first single, as much as I think it had more of a staying power, it was such a Brandy song, such a like, oh damn, this girl can sing. Nothing is at number 2 for me. I thought it was like, okay, I mean, it took a special song to be able to knock this number 2. We'll get
That's
there.
a great choice, that number.
Yeah.
It's a good choice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So Lorraine,
really good choice.
before you get to number 1, let us go to some of your honorable mentions. And so if you had like a down or something like that, what would you, before you get to number 1, what would be like 13 or 10 or
Oh, well, I didn't know how many we were doing, so I just put an extra 2. So,
yeah.
I would say one of them would be Wow. That track is just, it's amazing. It didn't make my top 10, unfortunately. Like, I wrestled with putting that in the top 10, but I
can understand why I do get why you left that out, because I did at first. I get it.
No, it's hard. It was going in and out. It was hard, but yeah, I definitely put it as an honorable mention because it's such a good song. And then the other one was Anybody. So I left that one off too. But again, another good one. Like I said before, it reminds me of something that Aaliyah could have recorded as well. I just felt like there was other songs that kind of defined like Brandy during this time, so I went with that. But yeah, those are the 2 honorable mentions that I have.
Yeah, pretty solid.
Okay, so what's number 10?
So for me, number 10, I have Love Wouldn't Count Me Out. Then at 9, we have Can We. At number 8, Like This. Number 7, It's Not Worth It.
Ooh.
Number 6. Number 5 is He Is. Number 4, Nothing. Number 3, I Thought. Number 2, When You Touch Me. And my number 1 song off of this album, it never gets old to me. I could literally leave this song on repeat. Everybody I know loves this song, and it's Full Moon. So that is my
wow. Yeah, that's a great choice.
Like, I remember being obsessed with that song when it came out, and still every time I play it, I need to play it more than once. I love that song. So that is my number 1.
Yeah, that's a great choice.
Okay. When you okay. MX says When You Touch Me is the top 5 Brandy's best songs ever. Okay, Stevie, what about you? Honorable mentions and
well, in a week that I've got lost in the forest of fake MJs on IG. I must just say, actually, and I think if I hope the viewers understand this, like Nandi touched upon it, when we do these albums, we pick an album and then we've got such a limited time to pull an album out that we probably haven't listened to for 30 years, 20 years or whatever, that I'm kind of like, by the time I get to doing this, I'm like, I can't actually remember what that sounds like. So don't hate on us for that, because I'm so into this album now that when I go to work in the morning, I'm getting on the bus, I'll be wanting to listen to this album, but I can't, because you know why? I've got an Usher album to do on Sunday night, and I've not even re-listened to that yet. So, there's a fast turnover that we've just got to take on all this information, So I hope you all understand that as viewers. Anyway, honourable mentions were anybody. So I agree with that. I think some of the offbeat production kind of got on my nerves a little. That's why it didn't get into my top 10. It was in at one point, but it dropped out. And I'll mention the other track. He Is for the gospel vibe. I'm sorry I couldn't put that one in, but I do like that. Number 10 is Like This. Number 9 is Apart. Number 8 is Wow. Number 7, All in Me. Number 6, I Thought. Number 5, What About Us. Number 4 is Nothing. Number 3 is Full Moon. Number 2, It's Not Worth It. And number 1 is, I think, kind of Namdi gave it a good description. It has a cinematic feel to this. And I don't want to take his flowers away because I feel like he's building up to it. But I've already mentioned it's got a certain Teddy Riley on vocoder on it. This is a track that I do remember because I played it all the time back then. And when I pulled the album out of the racks, I was so excited to go back to listen to it again. It is a deep cut R&B. It's not a club banger. But When You Touch Me makes my number 1. Makes my number 1 on this.
Classic.
Great track. And M-Mac is number 1 as well. And
yeah,
we'll see what Namdi's got. His number 1.
That's
my bet. I've got a heavy bet on this. I've got a heavy bet. I think it's gonna come in. I think my bet's going to come in here. I really think I'm going to be cashing in, guys.
So, So for me, I think I only had 2 honorable mentions. Die Without You, which was on my version. I didn't have Another Day in Paradise, which so meant that I had the US version of the album, so I didn't have that.
Don't know it.
Yeah, the PM Dawn version it was a cover of that.
All right, I'll have to find the US version then.
Yeah, so that
I'm gonna look for it.
It's not on this.
Yeah, it's on the one I had. So somebody it was on the US version, which was had. So that's what I had. I didn't have Another Day in Paradise, and Apart. So that was the other track that was written and produced by Keith Crouch, which surprised me because I would say that my all-time. I mean, if I'm looking at my Brandy discography, her debut album to me is her best album. And I like the production. I think it was so age appropriate, Baby Baby and Best Friend and all this stuff. It just felt like they wrote an album that was just right for her and her circumstances. So those were the 2 that I put in. But number 10 is Wow. Number 9 is Anybody. 8 is Like This. Number 7 is It's Not Worth It. Number 6 is Come a Little Closer. Number 5 is He Is. Number 4 is World Love Wouldn't Count Me Out. Number 3 was Full Moon. Number 2 was Nothing. And number 1 is What About us? What about? Yeah, no, of course not. Definitely not. I listened to and I think if you look at my list, all the Darkchild up tempos, I listened when I started listening to the album. It started with all this bang at the computer. It was like wow. I think one of the things that I struggled with was it felt programmed. The music felt programmed. And I thought it didn't sound real and authentic. And I wanted to hear a real guitar. I wanted to hear drums. I wanted to feel as if there was actually some musicians playing the track. Even if it's not, I wanted to feel as if it was real music. And I think I struggled with a lot of the programming. It felt very artificial. And so as soon as I was hearing most of those tracks as I started, I was like, oh, I don't think I can do this album. And then I started to listen to some of the other tracks, and so anything that became more of a ballad and more of a authentic, and the strings and stuff. All of a sudden they started to, I was like, okay, there's some hope. So I immediately deleted from the playlist sample, futuristic type of stuff, and kept these things. But the one track that really pushed nothing out of the top spot was a song that I had no idea who, as I said, I didn't want to be biased by knowing who did anything on it. But When You Touch Me comes on, and I'm listening to the vocal, and in my head I'm thinking, oh, I wish Teddy was doing the vocal part. I got the top thing. Oh man, this would have been a great thing. But it never in my wildest dreams did I think Teddy was on this. I listened to it and I thought, man, if only they brought him in on this. Oh goodness, because I wish Teddy was doing more of. I wish that this was the kind of this kind of stuff that he was doing, because to me this was such a, the way he flows into it. And I was shocked. Only an hour before, no, I think about, an hour before is when I looked at the credits, and it says, just an hour before we went live, and it says strings by Jerry Lubrook. He did the strings on Joy, Teddy's, the guy, Blackstreet album.
Blackstreet.
So if you look at some of any Blackstreet stuff, Jerry was the guy they bring in to do the strings. And I looked at the bottom, I said, Talkbox, Teddy Riley. I'm like, oh my goodness, I had no idea. And so that then cemented the fact that this was by far the best song on the album. And I'm thinking, why didn't they use it? It was this would have been, when Changing Faces would would stroke you up, or they would bring Get Out and all those ballads, and it would just slowly build up. And I thought that this would have definitely been an album, a song that would have just been out there. But maybe, I don't know. And who did the production? It was Doug, isn't he? He did the production, and he brought in Teddy and stuff. So I think that the label and everything missed the trick on that. But unbelievable, this is a celebration track. Yes, it definitely is the best out song on the album. Lorena, you didn't rate much as Full Moon?
No, I guess maybe I'm going with like the nostalgic feeling from when listening to this when I was younger. But I don't know, I was just obsessed with Full Moon. Like even when it comes on, like as I'm older, like I'm always excited. So that it's my number one for me. But When You Touch Me was number two.
Okay. So definitely put it in there. It's definitely. I mean, as I said, definitely. And if I'd known Teddy had done it from the beginning, it would have just been, I would have pinned it in. That's it. And then I would, it's something that I've said has helped me be objective when I do these lists, by not knowing who wrote or produced it, so that I can just focus on the music and not then just, all right, that's number one. Okay, who's that? Okay, yeah. So out of a 10, what would you give this album? So guys, those guys watching, if you were to rank this album out of 10, what would you give this album? So Lorena, what would you give this album?
I'm gonna give it a 9. I feel like I don't think there's a bad song on this album at all. It wasn't too loud for me. It wasn't putting me to sleep. I love this album. I forgot how much I really, really like this album. It was done so well. So yeah. I don't know if it's because Darkchild was also working with Michael at the same time. I don't know what was happening, but this is a really, really solid album.
Okay. Stevie, what would you give it?
Do you think in between when Darkchild was taking a break, do you think he was playing a lot of computer games? Because like you say, on the production, on a lot of the tracks, they've got a very computer gamey feel in sound to some of the, like you was alluding, sound heavily programmed on the up tempos. And I think he was taking his inspiration from, I don't know, whatever he was playing in between his studio sessions. But can I give it the same as what Lorena's give it? I can. Can I give it? I can. But I want to give it a 9.1 just to be a little different.
Wow.
9.1. I can't be the same as Lorena. So I'll give it a 9. It's either an 8 or a 9, this album, innit? It is an 8 or a 9. It ain't below 8.
Okay.
There's no way you can rank this below 8. You know, if you rank this below 8, Namdi, it's blasphemy, mate. On the way home from work this evening, I passed the betting shop, Betfred, and I went in and I said, "What are the odds on my friend Namdi? What are the odds on my friend Namdi giving When You Touch Me There as a number 1 on the podcast tonight?" And he looked at me and he went, "I've no idea what you're talking about, mate. 100 to 1. I want to give you 100 to 1. I said, there's a grand. There's a grand. I'll take it." So I'm rich tonight, folks, because my bet. I'm rich tonight. Thank you very much, sir. Well, yeah, I'll go for a 9.1 out of 10.
So this album has, let me just be sure now. It has, 17 tracks, but then there are 2 interludes. Let me just double check here. There's one interlude, that's the big rock interlude, and I thought there was another one, but this one, no. So it has 16 tracks on the US version. It has 16 tracks. When I look at this album, I look at there are 4 tracks that I would. There are 4 tracks, probably. There's 3 tracks that I would just like. Okay, add on my all-time playlist. Like, okay, When You Touch Me and Nothing were probably the only 2. So I don't think Full Moon would be like, if I'm putting a playlist of favorite this year, I'll probably put When You Touch Me and then Nothing. And I would think, and I look back at when I started listening to the album, and I was like, all the futuristic sounds that were coming up, I was like, oh, this is not going to work. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do anything with this album. And I had to then, as I said, I only have 12 songs out of all the 17. I had to just remove the others. So thinking, and I'm saying all this to say that even though it has a powerful When You Touch Me, I would give this album a 6.
Wow.
6, because it had, as of today, from today, that means that there are 2 songs that
not even an 8.
No, goodness, no. Too many. Yeah, it was just 15, 16 songs, and the ones that were I felt overproduction stuff. Listening to I need to be, because Rodney, great producer and everything, and he did some amazing ones here. I just think that I'm listening to it as you've I just didn't warm to a lot of them. So and When You Touch Me was that's a 10 out of 10 track, and Nobody is probably a 10 out of 10 track for me. And
what was it? What was it? Your number 7?
Number 7 is It's Not Worth It.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. What's it? Number 6?
And the number 6 is Come a Little Closer.
So you're saying from 6 down, you could probably listen to all them tracks 6 to 1. So you give it 6 out of 10. And the rest of it you could kind of not bother with.
I would say
is that a fair assessment?
I would say that yes. From 5. I would, let me just compile a list.
So you're actually being a bit generous with 6 then, if you only got 5 tracks that you think
songs that I would really like. Okay, I can keep listening
to. I suppose
you
have been 6. You've been a bit generous there. You should be giving it 5 out of 10, really. But you can't be to that high.
No, I think the top 10 that I has averaged it out, so you can give halves over here and there. I think as a top 2 were probably like, wow, this is some of the best songs I've listened to in a long time. But I think the initial reaction of the of the sort of futuristic sound, and I do wonder if you think about the albums, it didn't succeed. Never Say Never did 16 million worldwide. This struggled to go platinum. So that tells you that actually, as much as you guys are rating it high, people weren't buying it. And you could say, well, because of the whole pregnancy stuff, but music is music. You're buying the music, and did people warm to all the songs at that time, and did they release the right type of songs to really reflect how good the album was?
I didn't realize. I didn't know she was pregnant at the time, and I didn't realize it didn't do that well. Are we overrating it here, Lorena? Is 9? Are we? You make some good points.
Nope.
Are we overrated? I mean, I'm looking at it from an album that's not in the 90s, in the 2000s.
It was 2002.
And 2002 was probably a strongish year for R&B releases. They were still releasing strong R&B albums then. But I can't rate any lower than 8. I can't rate any.
Yeah, no. I mean, you put a lot of the Darkchild. Keith Roll was saying, would I give Brandy's debut album? I think I'd give that a 9 because I felt as I've written and produced appropriately for a teenager as Brandy's age, and Only Be Down and Baby and Best Friend. I mean, and Broken Hearted. There was the song. I prefer that album as a package than this.
I'll tell you, you got M Mac throwing his shoes and turkey legs at the screen,
As I said, it's and I think, yeah. I mean, I'm a ballad kind of person, and it's I'm a ballad person now, and I think ballads really. I mean, When You Touch Me was, as I said, I would just always give it. Oh God, Mr. Milkman, you've been down for more than 5 years, and I'm surprised you say Full Moon is arguably Brandy's best album.
I'm telling you, it's 9. I'm telling you.
Oh, goodness, Mr. Milkman, I did not know how that is possible. How is this better than Brandy's debut album? I mean,
so good. Like her vocally, she's grown so much compared to that first album, which is still good because I mean that's one of the first albums I've ever bought on my own or listened to or was gifted. I don't remember, but this is such a good album. Like everybody.
I think what he's alluding to is he's kind of struggled with the progression of the production sounds. It's moved on. It has moved on a lot from a debut of 2002 where it is heavily. I do get his point. Some of the tracks are heavily computerized, programmed, and it's like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. I was able to move along with the different production sounds till it got to trap, and the way he's talking about Darkchild days, the way I feel about trap production, because I just think the distortion levels, the engineers and the mixers turn in trap. I just can't. It's distorting it. I can't. My ears won't allow me to listen to it. But it sounds like your break-off point is the early 2000s when everything was turned up and pumped and churned out. And I understand that. I do understand it.
Yeah, I mean, there was.
There's a point where you listen to music and you reach a certain age and you can't tolerate things as much because you just can't anymore.
So we did Aaliyah's 1 in a Million. Now, at the time, I just thought that it was a Timbaland and Missy production throughout, and I didn't give it the space when it came out because I just thought because I didn't buy it at the time. When we did the review, I was so shocked by the variety of songs on there, and I was so shocked with the full richness of her vocals and the production that I rated it higher than I thought I would when we started off. And I think if I had to pick between the two, I would always go for 1 in a Million compared to this album today. and I would just say it was just more so that it didn't feel. I mean, I think, yeah, as I said, you either love what Rodney did with those productions, and let me try to think about. If you listen to the Full Moon track, then at the end of it, he calls Brandy on the phone and says, "Yeah, listen to this." And yeah, that last, I'm like, what the hell? It was like a computer. So and I'm thinking, yeah, that sounds great. And I'm thinking, what the song out of that? And I was thinking, what was going on back then? It just but
so, I think too, it was like the Y2K theme that was happening.
Yeah. I'm not that. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, and I think maybe if you listen to the album at that time, too, when it came out, I would have definitely a different appreciation when you I listened to this album. If this probably, I would say I've listened to all the songs at least in 5 days. So I just played on. It's in my car. As soon as I get in, it's on, and I'm listening to it, and it stops, and it play. So I'm listening to it, and I'm thinking, okay, all right, goodness, okay, and then I had to remove those tracks from my playlist because as I said, I was like, wow, so this is where music went to, where we've lost the live instrumentation. Think about, I've listened to Anniversary. Go listen to Tony's Anniversary. Hear Jubu playing the guitar and the whole vibe of it, and that was what I was like. And then I'm hearing the programming, and I'm thinking, that doesn't feel real. It didn't feel like real music, and it felt like she was doing auto-tunes. And I'm thinking, you can sing better than 98% of the female vocalists out there. We needed your vocals and the harmonies, the stacking of her vocals. It felt so artificial. Y2K, that I think they did the same with fan mail, with TLC's fan mail. They took away from, let's just hear their vocals and stuff. And I got disappointed with the fact that the music took over and the singing became secondary. And in the songs we picked, they focused on her vocals. They stripped things back. And I was able to showcase her vocals, and I was like, oh goodness, there is an album there. But if I had to be honest and then think about everything in context, I couldn't give this album up to 7 because there were too many songs that I just didn't feel. As of today, I could.
To be fair, you've really extensively there, and we you have extensively backed up the reasons why you give it 6 out of 10, and I can accept that. I can. Because you're not just come out at 6 out of 10 and I don't like it. You I mean, Lorraine listens to a lot of new music. She's up on a new artist and everything. And I guarantee 15, 20 years from now, if you're still listening to R&B, there'll come a point where it'll either be a new generation of singers singing in a certain way, or there'll be a new production sound, or there'll be certain where you'll just go, I can't do it. Mm-hmm. It's like, I don't know what the word is, but there's certain singers, female singers in R&B now, and I always say they've got this like croak in the voice. I can't tolerate it. It's like a croaky voice syndrome, and I'm like, I can't do it. Probably because I'm so used to the way 90s singers and early 2000s sing in a certain way that I just can't tolerate it. We're freezing a bit there. I mean, or in a very depressive way. Dare I say this? You must have heard of Georgia Smith. You're probably well aware of Georgia.
Yep.
I just can't do it. I can't tolerate her voice. She's like one of the biggest R&B artists in this country, and every time like the PR companies send me one of the tracks and I have to write some comments about it, I just say she's got the most depressive voice. I don't hold back. I tell you straight. It's just, I just can't. I'm sorry. It's just so depressing a voice to listen to. I know it's harsh, but I think and that's me. Probably because of my age. Probably because of my age, And you'll get there at some point. down the line.
No. Well, you can, as I said, no. I mean, this is though. It's I think if you think about the fact that the album didn't do well, reflects on why. What you couldn't just be because she was pregnant. What was it about her first singles, and what was it about those types of songs that people didn't
If she was
connect
pregnant,
with?
she couldn't, you know, as much as the record company have to promote the album, she herself she's got to get out there and promote it. There was still, back then, you still went out, you know, doing gigs, record stores, radio stations. Maybe she couldn't have done that as much if she was heavily pregnant, you know. And I hate to say it, and I'm not saying this is a sexist thing, but it is. For a female artist in the music industry to get pregnant, it's a cardinal sin.
Yeah.
Well, Shanice, you know,
when I female artist, you've just got to tell them, if you want to go all the way to top, please don't get pregnant.
Well, the Face Records dropped Shanice when she was 6 months pregnant, and she said, "But I don't have, you know, I can still record my album." And then before to come out, I would have had the baby and everything. But like, yeah, you know, so they, you know, that was done. So it does affect women. I do think that there were better songs if you release some really good songs on this album. If they were released, you know, I talk about When You Touch Me. To me, it's the best song on that album, 100%. But I think even Nobody, or what's number 4? Love Couldn't Count Me Out. You know, that kind of more popular type of ballads. They go for the album, but I don't know if it didn't also help with Michael's Invincible. You know, that type of stuff. But anyway, I will take nothing away from Brandy as an vocalist, and you know, and especially how she's touring and everything like that. I still have always just her debut album, and I can't. And even if we had done Never Say Never, I'm sure that there were some other songs that changed. You know, that they were a little bit different and stuff. Yes, but and it's strange because I was nervous about, okay, you know, taking nothing from Rodney, you know, and because he gives me his time, and I'm looking through the comments, making sure he hasn't commented stuff. We did an episode. What was it? We did an episode, Stevie, and he did comment. I can't remember what we did that day, what we were doing, but he was watching, and it was the Teddy Riley versus Babyface versus Jimmy and Terry. So he tuned in for that, and he was commenting and giving his comments on that. So 2000.
I'm sure he'd be able to handle it. I'm sure he'd be able to take it what he said this evening. I'm sure he's a big guy. He'll understand.
Oh yeah, goodness, and yes, as I say, he's graced here twice.
Really, he's just took you off speed dial, mate. He's just took you off speed dial.
And what happened? He connected me with Stanley Brown. He said, you know, he connected me with Stanley Brown. So yeah, I appreciate him. Right. Okay. So guys, yeah, 2002. A Marie. A Marie. I remember when I was working at Edmunds, the president of Edmunds Records, John Burrell, was hired to put out a group called Third Story. I don't know if anyone ever heard of Third Story. So Rodney did their lead single,
Get With Me.
Yeah.
Yes, with Joe Burden.
I love that. Love that track.
Me
So
too.
I was the guy who had to. I was the guy in the marketing and promotion. So we'll get the flyers. We'll go to the schools, places where they were doing shows. We're giving away albums, promo albums.
Wow.
And I'm coming from a background. My background is in finance and management marketing, and I'm thinking, you're spending all this money. So they were doing posters and CDs and just giving the whole album out as a promo. But I'm thinking, But why? Why are you just spending thousands and thousands on a group that hasn't come out and giving the album for free? Now, of course, this was just Napster time. So once somebody gets the album, they can upload it and stuff. So it made no sense. And, you know, that was, yes, I was working at the time, and I was working with the kids, the guys. I was there with them. We'll go to the shows and do tours and stuff like that. And I was doing promotions, so having to call the radios to see what was happening. And Nokia from Drew Hill was the A&R from Def Jam, being assigned to work with them and stuff like that. So some of the clothes they were wearing, like the shoes, I'm there when they bought the trainers, and then they were doing the graphics on them. And I was at the admin building. But I was digressing to say that during the time I was there, the guy who was supposed to be running it, who came from Sony, he was also running his own label, and he had this young Asian lady, or you look Korean, and I remember when she came into the office, she was wearing very tight shorts, high heels, and she strolled in. And every morning you come to work, and all he'll play isn't Third Story. It wasn't. It was now that we found love. Every morning for 3 months. This was back in
Heavy D
January,
now
February. No. Marie.
Oh, why
don't we fall in love? He'll come into the office. When he comes in, he's playing Why Don't We Fall in Love? But he's playing a song from his own artist on a different label at a later, and then he's got his own artist he's supposed to be working with. And I just didn't understand. So of course, when the album came out and blew up, I was like, I'd heard months earlier. So that was interesting days working in the label and stuff like that. And then we subsequently was paying for all of these artists from his own budget, because he was signed with Sony. It was interesting being behind the scenes and stuff like that.
Wow.
But anyway, that was in 2002. I remember Usher came out with what was Usher? Usher came out with You Don't Have to Call Me. So the Neptunes were also bang time as well. So those were the sounds. All right, guys. So we thank you for tuning in. Those who are massive Brandy fans, forgive me for not appreciating the Full Moon album as much as you guys.
We'll have to do that Faith Evans album next, aren't we, Andy?
Yes. So we will and confirm our date, because these were the 4 albums that we put out: Donnell, Faith, Brandy, and we did the other one, which I can't remember. What was it? That was Aaliyah, 1 in a Million. Yes. I don't even know how we even picked those 4 albums. Why we picked those 4, but those were the 4. And so Faith came in last. So we'll do Faith in a week or two. So we'll put the date up. So Faith's debut album, as soon as I get home, and I can't remember the other songs right now. Happy Thanksgiving to those in the States. Lorena's out in Canada, so French-speaking Canada, so they don't care for Thanksgiving and stuff for you guys.
Ours is in October, but we don't really celebrate. We have like Indigenous days, so yeah.
Indigenous days. Okay.
Yeah, we celebrate what we do. I forget the name right now because I'm so tired, but yeah, it's like an Orange Shirt Day, and we do things to commemorate that.
And you guys eat moose on that day or something?
No, we still do like the traditional Thanksgiving dinner if you do still do it, but yeah.
Okay.
Moose for me.
Eat moose.
Yeah, that's is that like a massive the big
Maybe further up north? I don't know.
Okay. But she's in French speaking parts, so she eats frogs' legs.
You.
Goodness. Anyway, guys, so we appreciate you guys, everyone who contributes with your list. Faith Evans' debut album, Faith, is our next show. I think that would be on the 7th, but we'll double check. This Sunday, VJ and Andrew Knight and myself and Stevie are going to do Usher's debut album, which is a classic album that, compared to Brandy's debut album, it's not age appropriate for this poor young boy. So we will be doing that on Usher's debut album for Sunday, but we will be back on the R&B podcast. But don't forget to subscribe to Total R&B Podcast.
Totally free. Totally free.
Yeah. So appreciate you guys. We appreciate, and we will see you. As I said, we'll see you either Sunday or the following Sunday.
We'll see you next full moon.
Sure. Take care.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for being a part of Halftime Chat. Please remember to subscribe, share, and comment. But most importantly, why don't you become a member of Halftime Chat? We've got amazing videos, amazing perks, and being able to support the channel. But anyway, thanks for watching. Take care.
I never participated in that kind of.
And somewhere in between
us for even loving us, on which I didn't miss you with.
What was it like growing up?
She's still making an impact on 4 houses down.
I have a couple of pieces.
Trying to get this one and that one.
That works for you, but just for me,
No. Okay, you're okay.
They don't understand what Jonas' boys and men and all spirits.
Play it.